right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new here at About Trout, I do fly fishing how-tos, gear reviews, fly tying, some vlog stuff, you know, things that are about trout, because it's what the channel's called in my guide service, and I kind of like to stay in that lane, but who knows, maybe I'll do some other things down the road. But while I have you here, today's video is going to be kind of a new thing for this channel, I think, and if you like it, let me know to continue with these. But this is going to be kind of an end of season things that I love and have gotten me through this guide season that I have really come to depend on. So I wanted to share these things with you. Full disclosure, I am a FullingMill ambassador, so I work pretty closely with them. With that being said, you know, I will call a spade a spade. I've been pretty impressed with the products that I have, and some stuff like FullingMill's blob hook is trash. So there you go, I said it. But let's just kick this off with things that I've really come to love. This is gonna be kind of a rambling review. Right off the bat, what I'm wearing, this is a sun hoodie from Duck Camp. I'm surprised you can see me. This camo pattern is awesome. And yes, I had to squeeze a dad joke in there. And if you didn't really know I was a dad, I'm wearing Crocs right now because, let's face it, it's the wedding ring for 2020. The true sign that you've let yourself go. But I digress. It's super comfortable. I think it's their midweight, so I use this for bird hunting and working as well. I've been very impressed with it. It hasn't really stretched. I have two of these. I like them so much I bought two. So really digging this sun hoodie. And if you're not familiar with Duck Camp, you should really check them out, because the other thing that I love are their Duck Camp, the wading pants. And I will say right off the bat, these are the best wading pants that I've ever had. So living and guiding in northern New Mexico, I'm wet wading sometimes 7 months a year. So I live in these pants. I have two pairs of them. They're a thicker weight than some of the other wading pants that you might be familiar with. And on this channel, I'm never gonna say this brand is better than this brand or whatever. I'm just gonna tell you what I like about what I'm presenting. So with these, what I really like, they have a good weight to them. I can bust a lot of brush. I can slide over rocks. I put a ton of days on these things. I mean, you can see they're stained and not the cleanest, but I haven't torn any holes in them, haven't blown out any of the seams. What's great with these pants, they do run a little bit big, so I'm not going to tell you what my weight is right now. COVID has not been good to my waistline, but these larges are baggy, so I would say maybe wear them with a belt. But what's also really cool with these pants is they have a magnetic pocket on the back, and they also have a magnetic pocket on the side. So I've really come to like the quick magnets, as well as some zipper pockets, and then a zipper pocket up front, so you're not going to lose your keys. You're going to have that peace of mind. But all wet wading season, and we finally kicked over to wader season, I lived and died in these Duck Camp wading pants. All right, let's just keep up with this wet wading / wading trend. What I've really come to love this season are these Yokota bootlaces. They're expensive. I think they're like 10 bucks for the bootlaces, but I blow through bootlaces. Actually, I'm gonna get a new pair of boots. You know, the Sims are pretty solid. I think I've gotten like 300 days out of them, and they're starting to finally shrink and blow out at the seams, but that's to be expected. The thing that you're gonna notice that goes on your wading boots first, or that wears, are the bootlaces. So I've had these all season, and they haven't even really shown any signs of wear. If I can get, I probably put 100 days. My boots, my laces blew out earlier in the season, and I probably put, although I've been in the boat a lot, but let's just say I put 80 days on these laces, and so far so good, and I do not take care of my gear well. So I will do a follow-up on these laces. I mean, if they last 100, 150 days, like, over the moon. But so far, really impressed. They haven't started to fray or come apart from the core like other bootlaces do. So these Yokota bootlaces give your boots a pop of color. Stand out, be you, live your truth. Big fan, Yokota bootlaces. All right, moving on, something I really, really, really like is this 22 quart Canyon cooler. The latches are super easy, and it's really light. So it's a roto-molded cooler. You can stand on it. They're like $100. But what I love is that it's light. Number one, it's canyon too, so it's, you know, it's not like a Yeti where you might worry about someone trying to lift it. I'm not gonna say that this has better ice retention or whatever, but for my needs, I have lived out of this cooler all season. So the 22 quart's big enough for a couple small lunches. It's gonna keep all my beverages cold, and I transfer it from my car to my boat back and forth. So if you're looking for a cooler for $100, I don't think you can beat this thing. The only thing is it doesn't have a drain plug on it, but I don't keep ice in it, and I'm gonna show you why. Inside my Canyon cooler, I have these cooler shocks. This has probably been the greatest discovery of this season. So Sheldon from Arizona, shout out, you recommended these. For $20, they send you 4. I think it might be 3 now. But you put tap water in here, swish it around, plug it up, and when it melts, it's a gel. And if I throw 2 of these in my little Canyon, which isn't the most foam insulated, I can keep drinks cold for about a day and a half. Earlier this year, I woke up at 5, threw 2 ice packs in there, guided on the San Juan, 96 degrees, and then I had to go hike in somewhere in this valley where I live. At the end of the day, 5 o'clock, came back, and my drinks were still cold. I can say that living in rural New Mexico in pretty much the middle of nowhere, I'll have to make Costco runs, and if I throw 2 of those cooler shocks in like a Yeti 45, they will still be frozen in the 3-hour drive it takes to get down there, load up all my stuff, and come back home. And that's in a hot New Mexico summer. So I haven't bought ice all season. I can't recommend those cooler shocks enough. So check those out if you're sick of buying ice or having your food get spoiled because it melts, and the ice melts and the water gets in there. So definitely check those out. So the other thing I want to talk about are these FullingMill Jig Force Short nickel black hooks. I obviously, if you're familiar with this channel, I Euro nymph a lot. These FullingMill short shank hooks are like an answer to prayer. So what's really cool with these, you have a bigger, wider hook gap, and they do run a size big. So if you want to tie 16s, buy the 18s. If you want to tie 18s, buy the 20s. But what you do get is a heavier gauge wire. So I guide some fisheries, some private water, and I think you all know what I'm stabbing at, but there's gigantic fish in there, and you know, they'll torque out lighter wire hooks. So these are great for that. And then also the FullingMill, their new hook has a transverse eye. And what that does is, a transverse eye is just a fancy way of saying your standard hook eye, right? It's not like a typical jig hook, but that's gonna allow for a bunch of different bead sizes to go on there. It's gonna fit more beads, and also it has a 45-degree bend, and that's gonna open up that hook gap just a little bit more rather than a 60 or a 90-degree bend that you see on a lot of jig hooks out there. I've been fishing these for the last couple months, and I'm incredibly impressed. They're razor sharp. If you're a big fan of the Hanik 450, you're gonna love this hook, and it's, I want to say the SRP is $12.95, and you get 50 instead of, you know, instead of 25. So if you're tying lots and lots of flies, I think you're really going to dig these FullingMill Jig Force short hooks. Last thing from FullingMill is their new Tactical Max box. So I think I'm just going to hold on to this for me, and I'm building this is, you know, the me box. But I've started to work on it right now. What's really cool is I use a lot of the New Phase boxes, and they're great boxes, but the sleeve isn't integrated, or the page isn't integrated. So FullingMill fixed that by running the pin through the middle page. So if you've ever been on the river, opened up the box and had the sleeve or the page fall out into the river, it sucks, and that's never gonna happen with this. Also, the other thing with some fly boxes out there, if I live in New Mexico, and so the car temperatures can get really hot if I leave my fly boxes in there, and what'll happen is the foam will delaminate and it ruins the fly box. So I spoke with FullingMill, and I was like, look, I live in a desert, you know, what's the deal with the polymers that you're using to secure the foam to the plastic? And they told me that if they screw up mounting the foam, they throw the box away because they can't get it undone. So I've had this box for a little bit. It isn't waterproof, which I have a waterproof pack, so that's not the biggest deal, and most of your fly boxes on the market today are not waterproof, and I'm willing to sacrifice that for the spine that goes through the whole box, as well as having it a box where the pages aren't going to delaminate. The foam is also super high quality, and you can fit like a bajillion flies in here. So I'm slowly building up my army. And I will double tap on this review in the comment section after I've had more time with the Yokota laces that I've really come to love, and also this box. So I'm not gonna leave you hanging. When I get some more days with this, maybe a few months from now, I'll update this video and let you know, and just keep it as transparent as possible. But those are things that I've come to love this season. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If there's any questions about any of these products, just drop some, just let me know in the comments below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I'll also leave some links if you want to check out that Canyon cooler or the cooler shocks, but can't recommend those enough. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.